Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about Michael Jordan and why his clutch shots are actually more clutch than you remember. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Jordan is actually more clutch than you think he is, than you remember that he really was. The shots that he hit, some of these clutch shots that Michael Jordan has hit in his career, and we know most of the shots that Michael Jordan has hit, those big-time shots, why they actually were more clutch than you remember them being, guys. We're going to talk about in this video, guys. We're going to break some of these things down, man. And I want to thank you guys, man, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support, man. You guys know the deal, man. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. Like I said, you guys commented on my videos, liking my videos. Like I said, subscribing to my channel. Like I said, sharing your stories with me, man. Thank you very much, guys. Truly, truly humbling, man. Thank you for rolling with me. And you guys know, man, we must continue to stand up. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. You know what I'm saying? Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to do a video. You know, the other day, I was watching the 1991 NBA Finals. And it was, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers, Magic Johnson versus the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. And I was watching Game 3, which I told you guys, to me, is one of the most underrated performances in Michael Jordan's career. And he hit, to me, the most difficult and the most clutch shot of his career, guys. To me, the Game 3 shot that he hit at the end of that game, to me, is the most difficult, arguably the most difficult, and arguably the most clutch shot that Michael Jordan has ever hit in his career, for several reasons. And I've talked about this many, many times on this channel. I've talked about Game 3 in 1991 many, many times, and that shot that Michael Jordan hit at the end of that game to send it to overtime. I've talked about that shot many, many times because that's probably like the biggest shot that Michael Jordan hit that no one ever talks about. No one ever talks about that shot at the end of 1991, or at the end of Game 3 in the 91 Finals, guys. But I was watching that game, and leading up into that shot, it was one of those things where Michael Jordan wasn't necessarily, you know, on fire or in the zone or, you know, feeling it. You know, he wasn't knocking the shot down with any kind of regularity. He was kind of off in that game, if you remember that Game 3. So this is what I'm alluding to when I talk about Michael Jordan's clutch shots were actually greater and more clutch than you remember. Because it wasn't just that Michael Jordan hit that big-time shot to send it to overtime and the Bulls would go on to win the game. And remember, Scottie Pippen fouled out of that game, guys. At the end of the fourth quarter, Scottie Pippen fouled out with, like, I don't know, 20 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever it was. He fouled out. And what play did Scottie Pippen foul out on? Well, if you remember that game, Scottie Pippen actually got called for a blocking call against Vlade Divac, right? And that put the Bulls down by 2 points. Remember, Vlade Divac hit an N1. The Bulls were up by 1 point. Vlade Divac got the pass from Magic Johnson. And, like, it was one of those plays where it was like he was bobbling the ball and he went up for it. Pippen tried to take the charge, got called for the block. Vlade Divac hits the basket, then we're going to make the free throw. This is what was leading up to that shot, guys, by Michael Jordan. This is why I say these shots are more clutch than you remember. A lot of people forget that Vlade Divac N1, where Scottie Pippen got the foul call, fouled out of the game. Like I said, with like 9 seconds to go, whatever it was. Put the Lakers up by 2 points with that play. You remember Vlade Divac going over to Magic Johnson and putting his head down and Magic Johnson hugging him. You guys remember that? Go watch the end of that Game 3, guys, the sequence leading up to Michael Jordan's shot. So this is what I'm alluding to. So now the Bulls call a timeout. Scottie Pippen just fouls out of the game. The Bulls are down by 2 because of the N1 by Vlade Divac. Remember, the series is tied 1 game apiece. They're in LA. This is the Bulls' first time in the finals. This is their first finals appearance. Right? So now you're starting to feel the pressure now. All the experience, all that favors the Lakers. This is why a lot of people were picking them coming into the series. They had all the experience, guys like A.C. Green and Byron Scott, James Worthy, Magic Johnson. They had the experience. So what happens? The Bulls call a timeout. They come out of the timeout, and what does Michael Jordan proceed to do? He takes the inbounds, right, and goes the full length of the court. Drives the full length of the court, guys, with Byron Scott literally riding his hip the entire way. Vlade Divac comes up to stop Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan raises up, right? I just posted a short of this shot. Raises up over Vlade Divac, who's a legit 7-footer, outreached hands, and Michael Jordan hits the shot. And I'm telling you, man, when you look at that, they basically touch hands in the air, and the ball is like literally over the fingertips of Vlade Divac on a stop on a dime shot by Michael Jordan, driving full length, full speed with Byron Scott right there on him. Michael Jordan jams his toe right on the landing of that shot, which would go on to hinder him through the rest of the finals. But no one talks about these things because there are no excuses for Michael Jordan. And he makes that shot, sends the game into overtime, and the Bulls would win that and go 2-1, which would be the pivotal game. That was the pivotal win for the Chicago Bulls in their first NBA Finals. That's why, to me, it's the biggest and most clutch shot by Michael Jordan. The most difficult. The degree of difficulty on that shot, to me, is greater than the 98 shot or even the 89 shot. Because once again, maybe not the 89 shot. The 89 shot on Cleveland is a pretty difficult shot because Michael Jordan had to go one way, come back the other way, catch the ball. We're going to talk about that shot in a second. And then clutch it in the air. So, I don't know. But this shot, like I said, with the defense that was going on, like I said, when Byron Scott is on your hip, literally riding you, and then you have to stop on a dime because Vlade Divac steps up and go over the hands of this man. Like I said, the amount of pressure that was in that shot, like I said, in your first finals in LA, that was a very difficult shot, but it was greater than we remember because this came right after the N1 of Vlade Divac where Scottie Pippen fouled out, which made that shot even bigger, in my opinion. Made that shot even greater and more clutch because it came right after a clutch basket from Vlade Divac. A big time. That should have been the game winner. That essentially was the game. There was 9 seconds, I believe 9.7 or 9.2 seconds left when Vlade Divac hit that shot to put the Lakers up by 2 points, guys. That was an N1 call which fouled out Scottie Pippen. That essentially was almost, the crowd was going nuts. It's insane, guys. So that one right there, which was a big shot, like I said, that many people don't talk about from Michael Jordan, but it was actually greater than you remember. It was more clutch than you remember because he answered a very clutch basket by another player from the other team. Now, we just mentioned the 1989 shot against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the degree of difficulty that I was mentioning on that shot. Not only the shot itself, but to get the ball on the inbounds. Michael Jordan had to literally fake one way, come back the other way to elude a Larry Nance or Craig Elo's defense right there, basically face guarding him, double teaming him on the inbound. Still able to get the inbounds, then catch it, go back the other way, and then once again, stop at the free throw line, raise up. But because of the effort, once again, the effort there, guys, by Craig Elo, the effort he gave to defend that shot, it forced Michael Jordan to clutch it in the air and then make the shot. That's why that shot to me is even greater than people remember or want to even say. To clutch it in the air like that. Because of the defense by Craig Elo, not because Michael Jordan was trying to be fancy or put his own spin on it, because of the defensive effort by Craig Elo, getting a hand up late, coming across Michael Jordan, making Michael Jordan clutch it and make the shot. It made him that much more difficult. But that's the greatness of Michael Jordan. That's why, to me, when I tell you guys, Michael Jordan's the greatest shooter in the history of the game. Because if I need one shot, I'm picking Michael Jordan. And there have been many great shooters, many great big-time clutch shooters in the history of the game. But the one thing that Michael Jordan has above all of them is that Michael Jordan has the ability to create like he did in the air in '89 and clutch it. I've never seen anybody clutch the shots in crucial moments like a Michael Jordan and come up on top more often than not. Even the shot that he missed against the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals in that game, after Reggie Miller hit that shot, when Michael Jordan went to shoot that shot, once again, the defensive effort by Derek McKee, forcing Michael Jordan to clutch it with, they only had like, 0.7 seconds left or whatever it was. He had to clutch it, and it still went in and out, rolled in and out that shot from three. This is Michael Jordan, guys, the creative ways that he can get shots off and still be effective. That's why he's the greatest shooter, the most clutch shooter in the history of the game, guys. If I need one shot from anywhere on the court, it's Michael Jordan that I'm going to, man. But when we think about that shot 89, it's actually greater than we remember, not only because of the degree of difficulty that I just mentioned, but what happened prior to that shot that we don't talk about, that no one really alludes to, because we're celebrating the jump shot, the shot by Michael Jordan. Well, the same thing or a similar thing which happened in the 91 game with Vlade Divac getting the N1 call. It was Craig Elo, guys, who came down and hit a shot that put the Cleveland Cavaliers up. Remember, the Bulls were winning at the end of that game. and the Cleveland Cavaliers ran a play, and Craig Elo got free on the baseline, and I believe he made like a baseline layup or something like that. And if I remember correctly, that put the Cleveland Cavaliers up. That's what put them up by 1, was the fact that he made that layup. And I believe that the amount of time that was on the clock, guys, when Michael Jordan hit that shot, I can't remember the exact amount of time that was on the clock, but there was seconds left, guys. Seconds left when Craig Elo hit that shot. You're talking about maybe, 2-3 seconds on the clock when Michael Jordan hit that shot or got the ball to hit that shot for the inbounds. That was Craig Elo, guys, who hit the shot. That essentially, once again, was supposed to be the game winner. Craig Elo playing the hero. Essentially, in that moment, the Cleveland Cavaliers crowd was going nuts, guys, in that game 5. 2 games apiece. Remember, the best out of 5, best 3 out of 5. And Michael Jordan hits that shot after Craig Elo just hit that big layup with seconds to go to put the Cleveland Cavaliers up by 1. That's why that shot by Michael Jordan, 89, is actually greater than you remember it being, was more clutch than you remember it being, because it came on the heels of Craig Elo's big-time clutch shot to put his team up. Like I said, once again, Michael Jordan robbing another player of a moment in history, in their careers. You take away from Vlade Divac, who essentially would have been a game-winning shot and won in Game 3 of the NBA Finals to put the Lakers up 2-1. And in this game, Michael Jordan robs Craig Elo of his moment in the NBA playoffs in the first round in Game 5 to beat the Chicago Bulls. That would have beat the Bulls and would have allowed the Cleveland Cavaliers to move on to the next round. There would be no Michael Jordan moment, right? None of this stuff. But Michael Jordan, once again, coming up more clutch than we remember, right? Answering a shot, a play from another player. A big-time shot by Craig Elo. Go back and watch that play, guys. The shot by Craig Elo at the end of that game 5 in 1989. Craig Elo with a nice play, like I said, getting the basket, putting his team up with seconds to go. Michael Jordan coming down and answering. And now let's think about the 1998 shot, right, that we talk about all the time. To me, like I said, that's probably the most notable shot from Michael Jordan in his career, the biggest shot of his NBA career. Like I told you, even though to me the 1991 shot might be the most clutch and most difficult shot of his career, the shot in 1998, we can all probably agree, is the biggest shot and probably the most iconic shot in NBA's history because of the way that it went out. All the things that were going up, leading up into that game. It was Game 6, the last dance stuff, everything that was going on. Scottie Pippen was hobbled. The Bulls were going for a three-peat. They were on fumes, like their second three-peat, you know what I'm saying, to be exact, right? So all these storylines that were going on, was Michael Jordan, the Bulls, going to be coming back for another season, going for a 6th championship? I mean, all the things that were going on, we could say that's the most iconic shot in NBA Finals history. So when we think about that shot, we forget about the things leading up into that shot. And I've talked about this many, many times, guys, with the 3-play sequence of Michael Jordan at the end of those finals, at the end of that Game 6, to me, the greatest 3-play sequence in the history of sports. I've never seen anyone, many all-time great players, superstar players, in any championship game do that kind of sequence or have that kind of sequence at the end of a game to win a championship, to close it out the way that Michael Jordan did, when essentially no other person on your team touched the basketball for the last, 50 seconds of that game. No Chicago Bulls player touched the ball other than Michael Jordan. He literally took it over. Remember, the Bulls weren't down by 1, they were down by 3. And why were they down by 3, ladies and gentlemen? That leads me right into why this was a bigger performance or a more clutch performance than you remember. Let's rewind it now. The Bulls were down by 3 at the end of that game. Why? Because John Stockton in his clutch shot, right, with about, 50 seconds to go in that game, John Stockton knocked down a 3-point shot. Knocked it down, right, and put them up. I believe it was, 86-83? I want to say, I think the score might have been. But it was because of John Stockton's big-time shot that put the Utah Jazz up by 3 points at the end of that game and put all the pressure on the Chicago Bulls. So once again, when we talk about the Bulls being down by 3 and them needing a quick and one, a quick 2-for-1 opportunity, this is what Michael Jordan did, and he did it to a T. Sometimes those 2-for-1s don't work out in your favor. So when we think about John Stockton hitting that 3 and putting them up by 3, essentially what they're doing is it's forcing the Chicago Bulls to essentially score every time down the court. There's no time to not score. They only have an opportunity to score every time. So if they get the ball, they have to score either quick or they have to score regardless. 2 or 3, whatever it is. That's what that shot put on the Bulls. That's what it made them and forced them into a possibility where they could run the clock out on them or have to be in a scenario to foul at the end of that game. But when Michael Jordan inbounded that ball and hit that layup through contact, by the way, through contact, guys, what it did was it forced the Utah Jazz to not be able to run the clock out. They weren't allowed to just run the clock out. It forced them to have to run a play, to have to take a shot. So they were up by 1 point, and they had to take a shot. They could not run the clock out. So it didn't have put the Bulls in a scenario where they had to foul the Utah Jazz, right? Because they need the ball back. They was running out of time. They couldn't do that. So once again, this goes to why this was actually more clutch play than you remember. Because that 2 for 1 was the key to everything. Michael Jordan going the way he did, as quick as he did, making that move. And like I said, finishing through the contact of Byron Russell and Antoine Carr, who came over on the backside. So when we think about what Michael Jordan did, and then getting the steal, and then hitting the shot, once again, it's more clutch than you remember because it came on the heels of another great play, another great shot from another player from the other team. And in this case, it was John Stockton making that 3-point shot with under a minute to go, putting all the pressure on the Chicago Bulls. In that instance, Scottie Pippen hobbled. The Bulls on fumes. Remember, Michael Jordan scored more than half of the points in that game for them, just to keep them in it. And he had to have the greatest 3-play sequence in the history of the finals to close it out. And remember, it came after John Stockton's big-time 3. So once again, another scenario where Michael Jordan takes away from another player. In this moment, he takes away from John Stockton in an instance where John Stockton could have added to his greatness, added to his legacy, right? Added to the chapters of his book. The game-winning 3, right, that propelled Utah Jazz to a Game 7 against the Chicago Bulls. But it was for naught because of Michael Jordan and the way that he came through once again, yet again, after another player made a play and put his team up against the wall. So as you guys can see, Michael Jordan's clutch shots, they're more clutch than you remember. The timing of these baskets and the sequences leading up into these baskets, we don't remember or recall these things. But I'm always telling you guys, if I need one shot, no matter where it is, I'm going with Michael Jordan. Will Michael Jordan miss? Has he missed? Absolutely. But Michael Jordan's not afraid to take the shot. Michael Jordan has the ability to take the shot from anywhere on the court. He could get to anywhere on the court that he needs to get to. And he has that. That's what he has, right? The go-to moves in those things, the high IQ to literally make the right play, whether it's taking a shot or it's passing to a Steve Kerr. Whatever it is, making a defensive stop. Michael Jordan's known. And those shots that he hit, they were answers. They were answers, responses to other great plays by other players and great timings. At great times, guys, at big times. So you guys know the deal, man. These are the facts, man. This is why Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. The things that he did on the court, guys, once again, they can't dismiss this. They can't rewrite their history because Michael Jordan didn't do it through the narratives or the lies. He did it through the on-court game. The on-court game. Those shots that people talk about, they're more clutch than you remember, guys. And this is the video. This is the answer. This is the proof you have for that. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.